Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's time for another Dead Rock chapter review. Welcome once again. It's going to be on chapter 4 of Dead Rock, which is the series created by the same creator of Fairy Tail and Eden Zero. So it is quite a bit of a chapter, to be honest. I don't know why they went that direction after the ending of the third chapter, but to me, it's kind of a negative because it doesn't really conclude what we saw in the third chapter, and we get no response from it. But oh well, it is what it is. Before anything, guys, if you have not checked out my first 3 chapter reviews on Dead Rock, they are already out on my channel. I'm reviewing this per week, so I think when I started there was about 6 or 7 chapters out already. By now there should be more, so hopefully you guys are watching them, because I'll be continuing reviewing this week by week until there's no more chapters, and then I have to wait and find something else. So it is what it is. This is again the 4th chapter, so there's more videos to watch. If you haven't done so by now, subscribe to my channel, especially if you're watching up to this point. You found something special in this video, so might as well subscribe. Keep on watching other stuff. I have also manga volume reviews, light novels, audiobooks, everything that's otaku and weeb is here, so go check those out as well. Okay, chapter 4 starts off with them, other classes speaking about them as we see them walk down into their next class, or I guess next mission thing, about how they defeated class D and they basically killed them all off and they're dangerous, so on and so forth. Now our protagonist Yakucho, he was actually not part of it. He was using the puppet of the teacher Maxwell, and he kind of concludes our 3rd chapter, and I say this because it's not really a conclusion, but saying, wow, God figured out that Maxwell was a puppet and he wasn't a real, like, he was being controlled. And he's wondering, did he find out that it was me? The other thing is, and this kind of adds more to the mystery, and again, no conclusion to it. So who is that one girl? And that's the girl. She showed up in the last chapter. We don't know who that is. And then he also has the question is, does God know about my sickness? Now we don't know what the sickness is, but he has something. He mentions it, and apparently this girl also knows about it because she mentions it as well. So nonetheless, they basically are just talking about how they're excited and they're going into a coliseum essentially to do mock battles. Now in these mock battles they fight each other, and it's not to the death, it's just fighting each other to see how strong they are. And the teacher is he's weird. I don't even know if I should show the picture of him. His name is Lucen. Yeah, he's weird. That's all I'm going to show. So he pairs them off. Yakucho starts fighting Farrier, and Farrier is the fire girl. They have quite a bit of a fight. He at first doesn't want to, you know, he's pulling his punches, and she's like, no, we're gonna fight to show each other's strengths, right? And she refers back to like a story of like a dragon fighting the witch fire, or the fire witch, and then she's like, the fire witch won. And so Yakucho kind of gets inspired to show off that no, she ain't gonna beat him. But he's still, you can tell he's pulling his punches, and you'll see, and you'll understand why at the end of this review. But then we have Hani, the clay-looking dude, his roots of God of Thunder. He ends up fighting Chaco, who is the crow girl. It's just a little crow. We don't see much other than Chaco can grow a 3rd leg on top of his head, and that's really it. Honey like falls down laughing, and there's not much to it. Give me 1 second, guys. Then we have the pair off of Hyan, the ice guy, against Raisin, who is the one that got killed. He is resurrected. They poke fun of him because now he's considered a zombie. They show off their powers a little bit too, but not so much. And the only one that doesn't really fight is the Necromancer. She kind of sits this one out because there's no pair for her. So again, that's maybe half or more of the actual chapter is them fighting each other and showing off their strengths to the teacher. We see that Raisin, who his roots are as Orochi, and Orochi in the Japanese folklore, he's said to have 8 heads and 8 tails, so he shows off his 8th sword method. So it's pretty cool. Like he can use up to 8 swords in his battle, and so we do find out a little bit more of their powers in themselves. The Fire Girl, the fact that she puts up with Yakuto and is able to keep up a fight with him, it's pretty impressive. But we also find out that the reason she's there is because her sister was actually part of the school as well, and her sister actually ended up dying eventually. Now they don't know how because they didn't get details about it, but she did end up dying, and she wants to go and fulfill essentially her sister's dream to become a demon queen and showcase the power of fire to the world. Keep that in mind, because the end of the chapter is pretty interesting, because Liaison, the guy, decides that he wants to keep them as puppets, and he shows them what he means by showing him an army of puppets. And essentially he tells them that the principal, God, lets him keep 10 students per year as puppets, and essentially zombies, to be honest. If you look at them, they pretty much look like zombies. And he goes on explaining that he does all different things to them. He hurts them, he pokes them, he kills them, and he even goes into doing ungodly things to them, I guess we can say that. And they obviously don't want to be his puppets, so they start fighting his army. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because, again, like I said, Yakuto was pulling his punches. Why do I know that? Because Yakuto starts showing off his real power, and that is, he can become a freaking dragon. So he becomes the Black Dragon and starts fighting the zombies, or puppets, I guess what he calls them. Now, these are strong. They're not weak whatsoever, but the chapter ends in a peak really good note, because I kind of felt like it was pointing to this direction, to like a reason, or finding out how her sister died, and yes, it did. She sees her sister and she is a freaking puppet of this dude. So yeah, in a nutshell, they gotta kill this guy now, because this guy's a douchebag. The fact that he keeps students just for puppets every year is as horrible as it can be. So I'm interested to see what happens in the next chapter. For now, amazing chapter. I hope it continues being as good of a series, and I applaud this guy, because coming into Fairy Tail, I wasn't a big fan of him. I became a fan of him when I started reading and watching Eden Zero, and Dead Rock. Completely different from those two, but still at a very, very good pace and good story so far. So thank you guys so much for watching this. If you haven't done so by now, check out my other 3 reviews. Go check out my other series that I have as well, chapter by chapter or volume by volume. I do appreciate the love and support. Thank you guys so much. Like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.